Life is like a video here on YouTube. Costume ducks you wanna know. Thanks for your view. Might solve a mystery, 'cause this is DIStory. Costume evolutions. Oh, woo! I did it. As a kid, truly nothing made me more uncomfortable than Scrooge diving into a large pool of golden, dirty coins, like where have they been? And then he fills his mouth with them and spits them out. Gross. That's how I was first introduced to Scrooge McDuck, through DuckTales. But Scrooge McDuck has been around for several decades before DuckTales, making his first appearance in 1947 in Disney Comics Presents Donald Duck's Christmas on Bear Mountain. Uncle Scrooge comics were so popular for Disney that they are still making new Uncle Scrooge comics to this very day. The character's inspiration came from a now long forgotten negative stereotype that Scottish people were frugal, as seen of course in early Disney animated shorts, and of course the Charles Dickens miserly character Ebenezer Scrooge. Of course, Disney parks have been filled with ducks since day one. Donald, Daisy, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, so many ducks with all similar shapes and looks. They treated these duck costumes like we treat rubber ducks. They just are all the same, and occasionally we put a fancy bow on one. But in the early 60s, we see a new duck introduced. It's in a Christmas parade of toys at Disneyland, and if you look really closely, this is, of course, Ludwig von Drake, a super popular duck at the time, because he was co-starring with Walt Disney, literally, in the World of Color series that was happening. Everyone loved Ludwig von Drake, and this Ludwig, sitting in front of that big bass drum, everyone's favorite drum, this Ludwig is the blueprint for what we're going to see turn into Scrooge later. It's a duck with some crazy long hair and a pair of glasses that kind of gets retooled into Scrooge when he regains some theme park fame. To make him different from the Donald costumes, the Daisy costumes, all the other ones, we use a really long pile of fur on his head to make him look very scraggly and have lots of weird feathery feathers, because Scrooge is a little ruffled all the time, right? He also has some eyeglasses on the brim of his nose, and I am so uncomfortable that the eyeglasses go into his nose holes on the top. That makes me deeply, deeply uncomfortable. And in the parade, for whatever reason, he's wearing these long feathery gloves over top of his suit jacket, and it looks really bad. I'm not a fan of them putting a human-sized hat on an artificially inflated duck-sized head. It doesn't sit right. But more or less, the first appearance of the Scrooge costume is just a modified Donald costume with some extra angrier brows, some more ruffled feathers, glasses, and of course a top hat. Usually will have a cane if you see him out wandering alone. And this first version of Scrooge with this blue coat with the fur on the accents, it just really implies wealth more than anything. 1983 rolls around and Scrooge McDuck gets his first feature animated film in The Disney Christmas Carol, where he plays Ebenezer Scrooge, his namesake. This is great. Now we're finally tying Scrooge back into his Christmas roots with this iconic Christmas Carol film. It's really, really beautiful. And for a short time during the Christmas season in the parks, Scrooge appeared in the parks as Ebenezer Scrooge. He wore a long trench coat, he had a special hat, some special cuffs and shoes. It was cool to see this kind of translation from an animated character brought into the parks that quickly. It's here in the 1983 costumes that you can really see the difference where Scrooge and Donald's costumes start to diverge, right? Scrooge's eyes, they're not nearly as wide eyes as Donald. He has a little bit of a brow line, so he looks a little bit more aggressive on the regular instead of as excited as Donald does. Now, their bills also change a little bit, and their beaks will change here and there from costume to costume, opening and closing slightly. But it's here that Scrooge starts to kind of get his own unique features. Of course, in the late 80s, man, it's Disney cartoon time, and of course, DuckTales takes literally the world by storm, a woohoo, and in the parks, we upgrade Scrooge to look like his new DuckTales Scrooge in his blue outfit with his black hat and cane. It's a smooth looking Scrooge, and it was incredibly popular. This Scrooge was so popular in the parks. It was just, I mean, who doesn't want to meet wealthy blue Scrooge? For a duck as wealthy as Scrooge, you would think he'd have other outfits. But no, this is more or less what he stays in. And it's what he's wearing today. Scrooge has barely changed his jacket in 34 years. Kenny suggests that Scrooge is wealthy because he only owns one jacket, and clothes are not that expensive, all right? So...
No, you think he doesn't spend all this time in the morning deciding what he's gonna wear. Boom, I'm done. Off to make money.
All right, fine. Of course, I know you're waiting for this one. In 1990, Scrooge McDuck made it to the ice. DuckTales made him so popular that they made a Disney on Ice version of him. And so the Walt Disney World on Ice 10th anniversary featured Scrooge McDuck and a very odd-looking Gyro Gearloose, and also some truly horrifying Huey, Dewey, and Louie's that are like mini costumes with hidden actor legs. But he looks wild. His ruffled feathers around his head are like Albert Einstein hair here. This is just some, you know, he put his cane in an electrical socket or something. He got zapped. And also he's wearing it's no longer a coat. It's like a smoking jacket. He looks like he just got out of the shower, and it should be a little longer. It's like, Scrooge, are you sure that's covering everything it's supposed to? I don't know how ducks work, but I'm sure. But normally your jacket's a little bit longer. But that's Disney on Ice for you, all right? They just turn it up to 11 every time. And you know what? I'm always here for it. They're like standing on beach balls. Yeah. And the ice skater's legs are going into those beach balls, so they look short. That is like haunt your dreams level Huey, Dewey, and Louie spookiness. Every time I close my eyes now, I can imagine those little ducks chasing. Makes me really uncomfortable. Hey guys, Christmas and the holiday season are right around the corner, and if you want to be a little bit Scrooge-like and pinch a few pennies, you can save 15% off right now at themagiccandlecompany.com by using Disney Dan's code DisneyDan15. Get 15% off all those candles, make your home smell great for the holidays, bring home all those theme park memories. That's what I've got, my house smells like theme parks 24/7. In the early 2000s, the ducks all got their own unique redesigns. We're finally seeing unique head sculpts being rolled out for each duck, Scrooge included. And this is where we see Ludwig von Drake kind of left in the dust. He's stuck with this old vintage design, and Scrooge gets this beautiful upgrade where his face, his belly, his colors, everything is all cartoony now, much more rounder, softer, brighter. It's exciting. It looks like we've just taken Scrooge right out of the cartoon. And Scrooge, of course, started to make appearances with other accessories like a coin purse, which is a little bit strange. He's not distributing the wealth in any way, shape, or form. He's just carrying a fluffy bag of coins, I guess for him to like drink, because that's like his favorite bet. I've never seen Scrooge put anything else in his mouth other than money. And I don't know what kind of coin gingivitis this duck's got. Don't put coins in your mouth, kids. Don't. Unless they're chocolate coins, in which case, eat away. I'm just like Scrooge. I'm eating money. Scrooge McDuck's duck bill is different than the rest of the other ducks in that it is turned up and open in the front, and of course has a mounted pair of glasses always to represent, Scrooge's poor vision. Hey, we've got Launchpad. That's cool. We've had a Gyro Gearloose in the Disney on Ice. Darkwing Duck has had costume meet and greets. So there are lots of opportunities for more ducks to infiltrate our lives. Where is Gizmo Duck? Hashtag Gizmo Duck in the parks now. Here's where things get really cool. In 2010, Tokyo Disneyland's Toontown Square introduced a new Scrooge, and this Scrooge is where it's at, all right? He spent a little bit of money on this new outfit, Kenny. Orange jacket, purple hat, bright yellow cravat, money sign multicolored buttons, purple shoes. What is not to like about this wealthy duck? Disneyland Paris really likes Scrooge. Tokyo and Paris are huge Scrooge fans, and so Scrooge will make a lot of appearances during special events, including that Disneyland Paris Stitch holiday party. Remember the evolution of Stitch, where we saw Stitch and all of his like multicolored Teletubby friends? Scrooge was there, living his best Trader Sam's life. Look at that rattan hat. Mwah. All right, we talked about it in my favorite 20 Mickey costumes, but Disneyland Paris sometimes will do very strange things with costume characters for a little bit of a dining experience. And this is where in 2013, we get Marie's Morning Dream, or La Rêve du Matin de Marie. And Scrooge is wearing his typical outfit, but he has apparently joined James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and he is now Polka Dot Scrooge. What are all of these bright, shiny macaron-type bootins all over my wealthy waterfowl? This is a little strange. It's just a little strange. It's just a little strange. Halloween Parade in 2013 saw Scrooge get a little bit of a Halloween spin on his traditional outfit with a velvet purple hat and a bright orange jacket. And of course, he's like Madame Leotaing a money pumpkin. He's like, money pumpkin. Is this full of money? Like, what are you trying to predict, Scrooge? You have all the wealth in the world. Thanks, Scrooge. Duck privilege. In 2017, Disneyland Paris celebrated their 25th anniversary, giving a lot of the costume characters these iconic blue, deep velvet looks with all these bright, shiny silver stars. And Scrooge, of course, got included in this because Paris loves Scrooge, of course. And those little duck feet covers are hilarious. I just love them so much. I love that has to be considered every time we make a new Scrooge outfit. All right, well, we got to have feet bibs. So one of my favorite versions of Scrooge, actually, in the 2018 Donald's Dino Bash that crash-landed in Animal Kingdom, we got a bunch of ducks that appeared, including Launchpad and Scrooge. And I really love this Scrooge because we're taking him back to his red coat traditional roots, but giving him safari vibes. It's a very, very sharp outfit. And there are no weird feet bibs on this one. Scrooge is wearing like tactical leather duck boots. It's wild, but you know what? That's what you got to do when you're hunting dinosaurs. You want something that's going to really break your brain? In 2002, the popular Scrooge comics investigated a plot in which the ducks fell asleep and their minds were linked together, and the ducks could travel through each other's dreams to plant memories and ideas in order to get their agendas passed. Does this sound familiar? Oh yeah, that's Christopher Nolan's Inception. Wait, what? Inception is a Scrooge plotline? Here's where it really gets turned up though. In 2021, this year, right now, in Disneyland, the whole Christmas party is Christmas Carol themed. Mickey and Minnie are back out in some Christmas Carol outfits. We've got Marley Goofy, who looks just absolutely stunning. And Scrooge now is wearing his nightgown with his nightcap. Man, I love a Scrooge nightcap look, and this is really, really fun. This is very disarming. He can't be a grumpy old man. He's wearing his pajamas, again, no pants. So, you can't be that aggressive as an old miserly duck without wearing pants in public in your pajamas after being haunted by 3 ghosts. I'm just here for the Scrooge. I love A Christmas Carol. Of course, you all know that. Speaking of Christmas though, Scrooge has had many, many, many Christmas variants to his main costume. In 2010, Disneyland Paris' 12 Days of Christmas showed him in a iconic Santa-looking robe. In 2010's Farewell's Founder Club's Disneyland Paris dinner, he was wearing this all-white costume that is just kind of it just looks ridiculous on him, honestly, if you want to be honest. It just looks truly ridiculous. Tokyo's Christmas Parade in 2015 threw him in another version of a Santa look with a big fun Santa Scrooge hat. I like this one a little bit better than the previous two, but the best Scrooge look, of course, is in 2015's A Perfect Tokyo Disneyland Christmas, because this is a perfect Disneyland Christmas Scrooge. I love it. I love all the stripes in the hat and in the jacket, the layering of the different fabrics with that bright yellow bow. It's a really cool Scrooge look as far as Christmas looks go. So you can see, Scrooge doesn't necessarily have a lot of changes from his first debut in the early 70s to now in the early 2020s, but what we see is a consistent change and update whenever the main duck costumes got updated, and then a little bit of playful fun in his later years being used in celebrations all around the parks with really fun different costume variants. Let me know in the comments below if I missed any of your favorite Scrooges or which of these Scrooges you've had a chance to meet. Of course, hit me up on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Speaking of Patreon, I want to give a shout out to Lucas Bradley, one of my patrons, who sent me some of his pictures of his own Scrooge McDuck costume. You've seen me talk about these kind of bootleg mascots that you can pick up here and there, and Lucas collects them. And thanks for sharing with these, Lucas. These are amazing. They look beautiful. They're definitely better than some of the earlier Scrooge costumes that we had been living with. It's really cool. As always, guys, I love hanging out with you. Every time you watch, comment, subscribe, like, do all those. It just warms my heart. I love reading every single one of your comments. So thanks for leaving them. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, you rock. Woo! I can't wait 2 more years, 3 more years for this other Dune movie. Someone tell me why they all have blue eyes. What does the spice do to ducks? Don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a comment, don't be shy. So aggressive, I'm so sorry.